given a gift by these lovely people here, Arrtx, and this is an acrylic marker set, and very similar to I've talked about this before because I got given another bunch of fat markers, very similar to its competitors, the Molotov and the Posca. I'm going to see how it measures up, how these measure up. There's 36 in here, and nice variety of colours and so on. That will be a big one for me about what is in here. This is what there is, and just a cursory look tells me that good. Okay, there's some interesting blues there. If I'm looking at blues, then I'm looking at things that sit nicely with blue, like purples. Some things that contrast well with blue, like yellows. Are they oranges? Maybe. I'm very interested in yellows because it's my favourite colour. I'm looking at them going, what is that exactly? Now, you can't necessarily go by a colour chart. That's the first thing you learn when you're getting into buying colours like this, paint markers or indeed spirit markers of any kind. Do not trust the colour chart. It will only give you a rough idea, because paint is always mixed differently and inks are mixed differently. Sometimes they come up lighter or darker than they are. So the only way we can really tell is by getting into it. So let's get into it. All right, the lids are off, and what have I got here? Acrylic market set. Is this? Oh, these are the colour swatches. How am I supposed to use them? Do you stick them in somewhere? Okay, this is interesting. I've never come across this before. I was going to show you to colour swatch. I'm going to show you how to colour swatch anyway, right now, because some people have never come across it before. But this is an interesting little bit of something. So these are colour swatches that presumably you stick in. You stick on in your book or in your tester sheet or whatever. Then you take the marker, the same colour, scribble next to it, make a little block, lines, all that, whatever, so you can match up the colour, assuming that is what it is. Maybe. Liking the look of this. Oh, you see, that's interesting. So that's like a really pale kind of, like, what would you call that? I don't know, corn yellow or something like that. I don't know, that's like a sunflower. And that, let me tell you, if that's what I think it is, that is a gift. That is an ochre colour. An ochre is a dark version of yellow, which means them three yellows, what you're looking for 3 colours together. 2 is okay, but 3 is what you're really after. Because 3 colours like that means that you can get a nice colour range within whatever you're working on, your character or your letters or whatever it is. To give you an idea what I mean by that, you want a mid-range colour, which will be the base of your body colour, and then you've got a highlight colour if you need it, and you've got a low light colour if you need it. Shadows, highlights, mid-range colour to basically blitz the whole thing. So this is good. This is very good indeed. Got 2 pinks. They look like different pinks to me. That looks like it's a slightly reddy pink, and that's a slightly sort of, what would you call that? Don't know. Rosy pink. I don't know. Yeah. Again, that's exactly what I like to see with the blues. Lovely pale one, lovely mid one, lovely dark one. That is slightly off spectrum there. It's a different type of blue, but still, you know, all the blues you can get, right? See, this is great. I couldn't tell this off the colour chart at all. There's 3 oranges there. This is fantastic. I'm really happy with this. Really happy. Are there more under there? Is that it? I can't tell. Oh, yes, there are. Oh, yeah, come on. 4 greens there. Fantastic. This is really, really cool. This is really cool. Some really nice colours. Another pink one there. It's like a much brighter pink. Now, this, you've got to bear in mind, this means nothing so far because this is cap colour I'm going on. So what I really need to do is I need to do some testers. And what I'll do, I'll take yellows, because they're my favourite colour. I will take them as an example. And I'm going to quickly show you how to swatch. And I'm also going to test these out on my colouring book. So let's have a look at that. So in this first page of my colouring book, I've got this little bit here. You can see some of them are filled in here. Now, what you need to do if you're colour swatching, this is very important if you're doing commission work, or it's just a good habit to get into. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really terrible at it because most of the time I can't be bothered as about that for dedication, conscientiousness. So this is what I'm going to do. See this line here? This line of boxes? I'm going to put today's date. Actually, what is today's date? Well, I don't need an exact date. Let's put January 2024. There you go. Right. Next up. How do these work? Oh, wow, look at that. I thought they were shakers. They're not shakers. Okay, how does this work? Is that... Oh, yeah, it is. Right, okay, we're up. These are like... This is mad. I thought I was going to have to shake these. I thought they were going to be like ball bearing pen. They're not. But they're acrylics. Wow, this is really interesting. So I have to tell you that straight away they're much less maintenance than their counterpart. I wonder, this is going on white, but I wonder how they're going to be on other surfaces. Interesting. So there you go. I blocked one in. I'll block the next one in, the slightly darker one. Don't need to be perfect. That's not what this is about. Block that in, and now block the darkest one in. These are brush tip as well, by the way. So these will be very nice. Not particularly good for canvas work, but very nice on paper. Because you've either got a nice sort of broad stroke, or you've got a really tiny sort of tip of the brush kind of effect. So what am I doing here? First of all, I'm getting an idea of the colour grade. So I can see straight away there's not a huge amount of difference between these two colours here, right? So actually, the contrast is not going to be big enough, probably. I mean, I'd give it a go anyway, but I've got to be prepared for the fact that contrast is not going to be big enough. There's a bigger contrast between these two colours. So maybe they'd be the two colours I'd use together, maybe. Why have I dated it? I'll tell you why. Because if I come back in June of 24 and one of these colours has vanished, and I mean vanished, like lost nearly its pigmentation, then I know that it's called what we call a fugitive colour. Now, fugitive colours you need to know about if you're doing commissions and professional work. I mean, it does matter if you do your own work as well, because it will mess up your work. Because what you'll do is you'll fill a load of stuff in, you know, you do your piece or whatever, and 6 months later the colour's vanished. Now that is to do with the pigmentation. It's to do with some pigments are what we call fugitive. They just fade. Any exposure to the smallest amount of light will kill them dead, and they just vanish and they fade right into white eventually. And with really good quality colours, it's quite rare, but it does still happen. So this is what you're testing for here. This is why you do swatches like this. In January 2024, I know that that's what these colours are like. If I come back to them in June, I look at that and I go, okay, I laid these down in January. If they're all still quite chunky like that, it's like, great, fantastic. These looking very healthy. If one of them's faded, then I know it's a fugitive colour. And to be honest, you just don't want to use fugitive colours if you can help it, because your work is not going to be good for anything other than short term. And we don't want that, do we? You know, we want to be looking back on our work in 20, 30 years, whatever. or more. I'm going, yeah, brilliant. Lovely stuff. You know, we can look at stuff that was done in the 1980s and some of the colours we used were very cheap, but the colour, interestingly, the pigments were not fugitive. And so they still, some of them are still as colourful as they were then. And I won't name the brand, but there was a paint brand, a very famous paint brand, that was starting to get a bit of a notorious name for using fugitive colour. And you'd see like a freight or whatever that was painted 6 months before, and it would roll back round and it was almost entirely white. And it wasn't going down very well with the community, as you might imagine, because particularly on freights that can run for years and years and years, you don't want that. You want your colour to stay, particularly if it's been matched with another colour, or you've cut another colour with it or whatever. You know, it can look really terrible if it's fugitive. Anyway, that's what we do when we swatch. I'll do one more so you can see what I mean, because it would be interesting for me to see these blues. Also, because I don't have to shake them up, it's not going to take very long to do it, which is great news for me. So let's do these three. So this is a lovely light sort of, what would you call that, baby blue? It's a sort of baby blue, isn't it? Powder blue. I'm liking the way these laid down, I have to say. These are very nice, and they're very nice to use because they're slim and all. They're a nice slim marker. And this brush tip gives you lots of control. So Arrtx, very impressed so far. Now these have been gifted to me, you know, so it's sort of me doing an advert for, but at the same time, if they're no good, I would tell you, that is a great contrast. That is the contrast you want. Can you see the difference? These two, they're too similar. So I can only use 2 of these together because, you know, there's just not enough difference between them 2. The difference between all these, the grades, are big enough to use all 3 together and get a substantial difference. That's terrific. So I can use them 3 together, no problem. Very interested, actually. I'll just drop a line of that. Yeah, that's what I figured. This is, so can you see that is in a different colour spectrum. So I can't use, I would never use that unless, would I? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't use, this is more like a sky blue. It's what you call a sky blue. And this blue does not sit with these as nicely. So that one goes in there. Okay, brilliant. I'm really delighted with that so far. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take them blues, actually, and let's do a little book, little book colour. I can't speak. Let's do a little bit of colouring in the book. So this piece can be found in the old colouring book, and I like this piece. I really like this one. I'm going to do blues on this. So now, do you remember what I was saying before about the highlight, mid-tone, dark tone for low lights, all that? Well, I'm going to do something slightly different on this one. I'm going to use the light tone, the lightest tone, to do the letters, all of them, because I'm just going to do a simple one colour. Now you've got to bear in mind that I'm colouring with acrylic, so if I'm going over the lines, I'm going to kill the black line, so I have to be a little bit careful because I don't know how thick the paint is. Oh, it's, yeah, it looks like it's thick enough to slightly, because I don't want to go too slow. I would, by the way, whenever you see me do this, I don't normally go this quick when I produce art, but I'm aware that if people are watching, unless I'm going to cut around stuff all the time, and I don't really want to do that, that you're sitting there thinking, come on, get a move on. I'm just aware of that, so I will move as quickly as I possibly can. Now, once we, what I'm going to do the C on this. and you'll get the idea from that. Oh yeah, it does kill it. Look at that. So I went over that black bit there. That has really wiped that out. Interesting. So it seems to flow pretty well when I'm covering. That's always the giveaway, you know, when you cover large areas like that. Does it flow nicely? Yes, it does seem to. And let me tell you, this is a classic colouring book paper, which tends to be quite thirsty, you know. It will drink up your ink. So so these pens are doing pretty well so far. So far, so good. I'm very much enjoying the use of these. I can't get over the fact that they are like brushes. They're just like, they're very light and ridiculously easy to use. And that is the thing about Molotovs and Poscas. They're really good pens, but you've got to, I can't leave that there. You've got to really shake them up, you know. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the 3D in the darker blues. I'll go over the black line afterwards so you can see, so it's not a massive mess. So here we go. Oh, this is going to be quite tricky because this is quite detailing and I've got to move fast. Oh look, I've missed a bit there. Come on. There we go. This blue, by the way, is one of my favourite colours. Molotov do one of these. It's just lovely. I don't know what it's called. It's like is it a cyan or is it too dark to be a cyan? Don't know. Okay, good. Get that in there. Stick that in there. I'll do that as well. Yeah. There, yeah, or not. And one there. You see that? In there. Now, get some dark on it quickly. Get a dark blue in there. This hopefully won't look half as messy as this when I've... Wow, I'm making a mess here. I'm really hoping I can save it. I'm just going to kill that line completely there. I'm hoping I can save it. And the by the way, this is like how I paint my pieces. They often look horrendous until I start getting outline on and start cutting. And then it's like, saved in the outline stage. Look at that, great coverage. That is juicy, lovely. Okay, there you go. So that looks like a mess. However, if I go, remember I'm using paint markers. If I was using spirit markers, wouldn't do all that. Is that all dry? It's just drying now. Yeah, if I was using spirit markers, it wouldn't do all that. But because I'm using paint markers, it makes a bit of a mess, but that's okay. Because I'll go in with my, come on, I've missed that bit again. Go in with my trusty fine liner. Sharpen it all up. So I wonder if I've got a 0.5 anywhere. I've got a 0.5 somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone. I have so many pens kicking around my table, you won't believe it. Okay, we'll have to use this. It's fine. Okay, can you see that? Just starts to pop it nicely. very quick to be going in on paint. I wouldn't normally go on in as quick as this on paint, because you want to give it a little bit of time to settle and dry. But obviously I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could just, you know, I could do all this and cut it, but you want to see the process, right? You want to see how it's been done. So this is it. So you can see I'm just redoing all these lines. This is a big one. I'm sorry, I'm going to absolutely obscure the view. There we go. I can't put a line like that any other way. There we go, just tidying it all up. And I have to say, from what I've seen, I'm impressed with these. Now, I think it's important to say they're not what I thought they were going to be, because what I thought they were going to be was markers like Molotovs or Poscas, and they are definitely not that. That is not what they are. These are like, they're graphic markers. They've got, in many ways, they've got, I mean, I know they're paint, but they've got more in common with pro markers, in a way. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that they're for book art. You know, I'd use these on paper, like I just have done. Okay, so that's a tiny bit messy, but it's now ready for highlight. If I can find my highlighter. Okay. All right, it's got to be around here somewhere. Okay, so my highlighter has decided it's going to go walkabout. I can't find it anywhere. However, the good news is Arrtx bought me this. And thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. This came from China, I believe. And this is, I don't know what, it's some kind of paint pen, extra fine point, and it's white. So I've not used it yet. This is going to be its virgin outing, so let's have a look, see how it lays down. Oh, nice. The answer is it lays down nice. Really nice. Wow, I'm making a mess today. What's the matter with me? You know what it is? I reckon I need better glasses. I have to go back to the optician again. Not that I'm making excuses, you know. This needs a bit of a shake, I reckon. Because this is very spirity, I think. Oh yeah, you get a nice, lovely light. See the mix on that? Very, very nice. I'll tell you what as well, I bet this is very permanent. I bet it's a really, really permanent one, this. Just shove that in as well. So, there we go, really. Oh, go on, you might as well finish it. You started it. I've got the words of my school teachers echoing in my ears. Start with your... No, finish what you start, boy. Finish what you start. There we go. Okay, that's a Bit of a mess there. I can't see properly. There we go. Right, there we go. So I've zipped through that, but you can see, right? You can see what this is capable of. You see what these pens are capable of. They're very, very nice. I wonder if I can kill that. You can probably cut with these as well. See that on that corner? I just want to cut that a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Yes, it does. Okay, well, these will be a very, very nice addition to your armoury. And the thing about these markers is they are, I've checked, and they are very, very reasonably priced. I will put a link in, but yeah, top quality. There's some really, really nice. I mean, look at that. I've rushed that through. It still looks quite nice. So yeah, the Arrtx acrylic marker set. 36 colours. You've got some nice colour combinations. Whether they're fugitive or not, I can't tell you because it's too early to say. However, that's how they lay down. And yeah, I'll drop a link for you, and you can go and have a look.